Hey YouTube, Following Small Engine. I'm back. So, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up from where I left off. We're going to try to assemble the starter. The first thing I would tell you need to do, make sure that if you're using your old base, that you use either the Briggs retainers for your brushes, or if you've ordered a new brush housing, make sure that they come with these. These are pretty important. They're not hard to make, as I showed you before, but you want to make sure that you have at least two of them. Reason being is you need to lock back those brushes. As you can see, they're locked here, 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 and here. All I've done is pulled the brushes back by finger and slid these in just like this. Okay, and that should be what you'll have after you get done. Okay, you should be able to have a hole there that's open. From here, set this aside. Make sure you have a good base with no cracks in the magnets. Okay, if there's any cracks in the magnets, discard it, find another. You're not doing yourselves any favors by continuing to use the old one. Okay, trust me, make sure that the one that you have doesn't have cracks in the magnets. Also, you might want to consider cleaning them out, okay, if you're reusing them, because there will be dust and grit. I have cleaned this one out prior, but you want to make sure it's clean. Okay, there's many ways to go about this. Obviously, I've already set the two washers on that I showed you before. What you want to do is slide the top of the bottom of the armature down through the top. Okay, just like this. From there, you have two options. You can put on your base, or your starter brush base, or you can put on your top cap. I always use your brush holder, okay, the base for your brush holder. I put it on first. So you want to turn over your starter, just like so. Find your larger groove, which in this case is this one, as you can see. Slide your brush holder straight down on top of it after you've assembled it this way. It's actually this simple. And as you can see, those pins come right up. It's a simple matter of pulling them out. And it's locked and retained. Okay. From here, I would tell you to grab your base plate here, dab just a little grease on the end of the shaft, like so, and assemble it, aligning the holes with your brush holder. From there, it's optional, but the two screws that you've pulled out of the starter when you took your other apart, you can dab a little grease on those, like so. From here, you will flip the starter back over. As you can see, your positive cable would go on this side. So you would have it facing you. Okay, in this case, it's facing towards my chest. Then you would put your new top cap on. Okay, some people like to call them plates, some people like to call them caps. You want to do that the holes facing away from you, okay? In other words, towards the block of the engine. You want to keep in mind that you want to keep the positive cable in front of you. So, when you do this, you'll see that the holes are here and here. They don't quite line up. All you have to do is turn the bottom to where the holes line up, like so. You'll see that the positive cable now will be on your left as you're facing the starter, and the two holes will line up towards the top, like so. Okay, with the bolts. Sometimes you can actually move the starter a little, and I'll show you. And this really seems to help. You can actually even pull the bolts from the bottom if you have to, and just wiggle the top of the starter down, just like this. Okay. From there, you can actually take your bolts from underneath, or screws, tighten them up by hand. There. And there. Take you a 5/16 ratchet, tighten it back up. You don't have to get them screeching tight, just snug. I like to call it the Germans torque spec, you know, guten tight. From there, you will take the helix, okay, if yours is good. Now in my case, the lady's was in bad shape, so we can't use this one. Luckily enough, I had another helix. You'll put it on. You want to turn it. If it turns free and smooth, you know you're in good shape. Once the helix is on, you want to choose a new pinion gear, in which case I have a new one here. I'm going to slide it on. You want to make sure when you slide it on, see how effortless that went on? It's got to be that effortless. If not, the plastic's got some kind of little rough ridges on it, and you need to find another helix, okay? Make sure that your pinion can go down that effortlessly. From there, you can use your spring. You put it on top. Oh, and speaking of which, there's two sides to this pinion. If you look here and here, if you look on top of the pinion, you'll see that they're at a little bit of an angle. The teeth are at a little bit of an angle. You'll know that this is the top by looking at the teeth on top. There'll be an angle on them, okay? So keep that in mind. As you can see, there's no angle on this side. Look on this side and you'll see there's an angle. See how they're kind of angled? That's the top. So you want to put this on, put your spring on, your washer, and keep in mind that they need to point up, okay? That little washer needs to actually, the tabs need to come up on it, like this. Okay, some people like to put them on like this. You don't want to do that. You want to have the washer to where it's actually facing up. From there, you add your retainer. And your C-ring. Now the C-ring, if you don't have the specialty tool, you can use a 10mm, okay, a 10mm socket. It's a little more difficult, but it can be done. See, fit right on top, and all you gotta do is hit with a hammer. But what I do is actually use the tool because it's convenient, and I'm gonna do so. Simple matter, swatting it with a hammer. Well, maybe not so simple, guys. I'm going to try that again. I know what happened. When I drove it, I tilted it. Let's try this again, guys. Ring goes on. Turn it this way. And as you can see, it's retained. From there, you can twist the gear to ensure that it's okay, in which case, at this point, we have a completely rebuilt starter. Now, I'm going to stop the video at this point, go outside, put it on my stationary, and prove to you guys that this starter actually works. To prove that this is the same starter, I know there's a lot of people that would like to lie. I'm going to make a mark on it, okay? Let's put a K and a B on it. Okay, so if you look, you'll see there's a K and a B on it. I'm going to stop the video at this point, take the starter outside, put it on my stationary, and see if it whizzes and works.